One of my favorite shots to teach amateur players is how to get out of situations like this where you have a very intimidating shot. You've got a lie that might be a little bit on the suspect side, and then you also have to get this ball up high and soft and avoid disaster, which would be leaving it in the bunker. So understanding how to hit this shot is a crucial tool for everybody to have, so that when you do get in those situations, you turn doubles and triples into bogeys and pars. Okay, so when you encounter a tough shot, you need to understand how to approach it. So the first thing in any of these shots is understanding what the lie is going to allow you to do or not do. So I have two different lies here. In one case, I have this dry kikuyu where the ball's kind of sitting up a little bit more on the fluffy side, and then I've got another one where the ball's actually sitting down at the base of the grass. So I'm going to play those two shots completely different in terms of how I set up and approach it. So the first one where the ball's sitting up kind of fluffy, if there's a lot of air under the ball like this one where there's kikuyu, you want to be careful that you don't get too steep on the ball, because the club's going to actually go right underneath the golf ball, and then it won't get ultimately over the bunker, which is our priority number one. So for this lie, I'll set up the same way in terms of opening up the face a little bit. Weight's going to be on the left. We always talk about getting the nose and the shoulders sort of level to the ground, so that way there's not a lot of tilt. I think a lot of players try and tilt in this situation, which is actually going to increase your risk for blading it into that lip of that bunker. So face can be open, weight's going to be on the left, nose is on top of the ball forward. I'll lower my hands, but I'm going to float the club head. Now the reason I float the club head here is because when the ball is sitting up and there's air under the ball, I don't want to have the club get to the base of the roots on this shot, or again, like I said, I'll go right underneath it. So I'll open up the face, weight and everything more on the left side, and then from here I'll feel just a little bit less wrist hinge. The big thing here is staying on that left side, maintaining the loft as you come through. The ball came out really high and soft. So my next one is going to be when the ball is sitting down. When the ball is sitting down, you really only have one option, and that's that you got to open up the face. You've got to get your hands nice and low, and then from here what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to get the club up a little bit more on the vertical side. And the reason we go more vertical with this one is because the one with the air underneath, I didn't want it to go underneath the ball. This one I actually need to get the ball steeper angle of attack. I need to get the club on the golf ball. So again, I'm going to open up the face maybe a little bit more. Still going to have my weight left. My shoulders are level, nose is over the ball. From here, I actually like to feel like I get the club up earlier. So I'm going to hinge it up earlier. And then again, when I come down on top of it, I'm going to maintain the loft. If the ball is really sitting down like that one was, you can actually get a little bit more down on top of it, and you notice if we look at that the club actually didn't have much of a follow through. But because I had the club face wide open, and because when I came back I got a little bit more vertical with my wrist hinge, I was able to get a little more down and steep on the ball, and that actually allows the golf club to do its job in terms of loft. Got a ton of spin, and a lot of people would say that that's a really good shot. So from these situations, you want to practice this so that you can trust and be confident that when you do have these anxiety-inducing situations, you can in fact perform it. But a big key in any of those shots is just understanding how to read the lie and then how to execute the shot.